Royals bullpen has combined to load the bases with 2 down, 0-2 pitch. Tapper up the gut. Bobby Witt beat him to the bag, or did he? He did not beat him to the bag, and he threw it away, and the Guardians have taken the lead on a wild play.
Boy, I didn't see that. I thought he got him, and he was trying for the double play. Here he comes. Naylor slides.
Oh, he never touched the bag at all.
Right, and then rushing the throw, it gets away, so that you're right.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Royals Recap presented by Royals Review. I'm still not here doing a recap, starting off with our winning slogan because once again the Kansas City Royals fall, this time to the Cleveland Guardians in Cleveland, starting off the series losing 8-5 in absolutely disappointing, disheartening, and frankly disillusioning fashion. Let's talk about it. But first, you are missing out if you're not checking out the content that is going out daily on RoyalsReview.com. Game analysis, history, trends, Royals rumblings every single morning. You want it, they got it over at RoyalsReview.com. Where do we want to start tonight, folks? That is, I asked that question as if I could get an answer back from y'all, which unfortunately I cannot. Let's start off with the one good from today. Bobby Witt Jr. What a game from him at the plate today. 2 home runs, 3 hits in total, plating 4 of the Kansas City Royals 5 runs. The only other run coming from the bat of Hunter Renfroe, who hit a solo shot in the 3rd inning to start off the scoring for the Kansas City Royals. Those two, the long ball really got things done for the Royals tonight. And unfortunately, that was about it. The Kansas City did out-hit the Guardians 10-7. The Royals were better with runners in scoring position, 2 for 5 in comparison to 1 for 6. They left 6 on base, had more stolen bases. Like, if you just look at the paper, look at the numbers, you'd think this was a pretty decisive win for the Royals, especially after they took an early 5-0 lead, and that held until the bottom of the 4th inning. Even then, they were winning 5-3. Seth Lugo is human after all. To err is to be human, and he did err. It happens. Josh Naylor got his 16th home run on the season off of Lugo in the 4th inning. To start off the score, or to really put Cleveland back in the game. But it was the bottom of the 7th that was the difference here. There are so many different people you could lay this at the feet of. Seth Lugo, he allowed, what was that? How many more runs did he allow in there? He allowed 2 more runs off of a long ball there. Freeman's 5th home run on the season with 1 on and no out. And that pushed Lugo from the game after that. That was all. And when he exited, the Kansas City Royals' best pitcher so far this season, at one point he had a 5-0 lead to work with. And when he left, it was 5-5 with no outs in the bottom of the 7th inning. The Royals turned to Sam Long after him, who has been solid to start off his Kansas City Royals tenure, retiring all of the batters he has faced until tonight, when he allowed a hit to start off things. He did collect the loss tonight, but frankly, I'm not laying this at Sam Long's feet. I don't think that this was Sam Long's fault the Kansas City Royals lost. Did he help them? No, he didn't. I'm not saying that. He did have 2 unearned runs charged to his pitching ledger, but they're unearned for a reason. Him and Angel Zerpa both gave up unearned runs, 3 total between the 2 of them. And unfortunately, that is because of a throwing error from Bobby Witt Jr., the same man who did most of the scoring for the Royals tonight, also gave up 3 runs on one single play in the 7th. That really just put the Royals in a hole they could not dig out of. I don't know if he miscounted how many outs there were. I don't know if he thought his raw speed could beat the Cleveland base runner to second base. I don't know what it was. But he collected the ground ball that Zerpa induced. He did his job. He put the inning-ending ground ball in front of the Kansas City Royals' best defensive infielder. Zerpa did his job. And Bobby, he didn't get the runner out at second, and then he threw wide of Vinny Pasquantino, and that ball ended up out of play, scoring 3 runs on 1 throwing error. And that's all she wrote for the Royals. Scott Barlow got a measure of revenge, earning the hold tonight, and then Emmanuel Clase, the electric reliever for the Cleveland Guardians, came in and had 2 strikeouts to earn his 19th save on the season. Goodness gracious, 19 for 22 on the season. Whew. That's what happens when you have a good closer. Wouldn't know what that's like. So I'm already seeing it on social media. Folks are blaming the bullpen. No, I'm not blaming the bullpen for this. Okay, if you want to be realistic, if you want to go back and watch the 7th inning and how that went down, it's mostly on Seth Lugo and Bobby Witt Jr. Those are the 2 guys that allowed 5 runs in very different ways. They allowed 5 runs to the Cleveland Guardians, putting them on top 8-5. That's how it goes. And that is the margin for error in Major League Baseball. But I say this with but because you longtime listeners know I usually I'll have a positive spin, or I'll preach patience. And I talked with Jeremy about it on the last full-length episode, talking about how we can't let 24 hours of baseball determine how we are going to feel about the Kansas City Royals. And I'm going back on my word a little bit here, but I will admit that how the Royals lost tonight is disheartening. It only adds more fuel to the detractors' fire. Oh, well, they can't win against good teams. Oh, well, they're the Kansas City Royals. They're always going to find a way to lose. Well, they went into Cleveland with a chance to make up some ground between them and the AL Central leaders. And what do? They found a way to lose. At one point, they had a 92% chance to win this game. They very much had this game in hand against the Guardians, and they blew it. Plain and simple. Now they have a chance to go out tomorrow and make the fans forget about it real quick. But this is not a fun loss. It's really not. And no losing should be fun. But this is just one that it was an ugly one to watch. And it started off so promising for the Royals that it just ended up being a massive, massive disappointment. So, still got more games against the Guardians. Still more time to make up that ground. And still more time to make us believe that the Kansas City Royals are not just beating up on bad teams. That they can win against division leaders and hold their own and prove that they're not just upstarts or flashes in the pan, that they are legit winners, and so on and so forth. Coming up on the other side of the ad break, I don't know who we're going to hear from. It's always kind of it's a shot in the dark who we'll actually hear from on Bally's. So I expect Matt Quatraro, but we'll see who pops up. Stay tuned.
what I think really happened was Lofton broke for the ball. Bobby clearly went for the ball. So Bobby was probably thinking either go to the bag or flip it. And then when he realized he wasn't going to be able to do either, hurried and rushed, I don't know if he rushed the throw, but made an off-balance throw. And Vinny couldn't come up with a pick. So as far as how frustrating it is, yeah, I mean, that inning, we talk about it all the time, not giving away bases. So we had a great at-bat from Schneemann that, got on there versus Sammy, but 2 walks to load the bases and then, the misplay. So certainly not a clean inning for us all the way around. So other than that, it was a clean game. So that is frustrating.
How much of a factor does Naylor's lead play into that? He was pretty far off the bag.
Yeah, I mean, yes, that played a factor in Bobby not being able to get there to get the out at second, yes.
How much, how did you feel about Seth Lugo's start overall?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, he gave up the 3 runs there. Those guys are capable of doing damage. The top of their order is really, really good hitters. And then he settled in, and, I felt really good about sending him back out there in the 7th. And they hit 2 pretty good curveballs, a 2-strike curveball that was well down, and the home run was, at least from my vantage point, a tough pitch as well. So you got to tip your cap to them, but he battled and gave us a chance to win.
How confident do you feel in sending him out there for that 7th inning, despite the bigger inning a couple innings before? Very
confident. Yeah, I mean, I think no doubt that was the thing for him to go out there. That he's earned that. He said he felt fine. There's no reason to think that he wasn't going to be able to handle that inning.
Obviously, tough way to lose against division leader. What do you tell the team after a game like this?
No, these guys will be ready to go tomorrow. I mean, you're going to lose games like this. You're going to win games like this. We just came back on somebody the other day and did it to them. And, okay, you got to come back out and do it tomorrow.
Did this game show you about what kind of this series could be, both this week and just the season overall against these guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think we talked about it before the game. Teams that are somewhat similar. I mean, they got the better of us today, and we made, like we talked about, we didn't play a clean inning there in the 7th, and that's what hurt us. But we're not in that spot. A lot will be made of Bobby's play there, but we're not in that spot without Bobby. He's got 3 hits, 2 homers, 4 RBIs. I mean, he's a great player, and that play just didn't go our way.
Just to clarify, would you have rather had Lofton take that ball? Kind of how did that? He broke for.
No. Lofton was playing up the middle, so he goes to get it as well, not knowing exactly the spin on the ball or where it was going to be. So they both broke for the ball. No, Bobby easily catches that ball.
How would you just describe Bobby's swing today and, this whole season really, but lately too, just being able to put you guys up?
Yeah, when you start seeing him hit balls like that to left center, that's really impressive because he's not trying to force the ball the other way. McKenzie's tough. He gets the ball up at the top of the zone. One was a curveball, and I think the other one was a fastball. I'm not positive. But, I mean, to get up on top of those balls, and it's a tough thing to do to hit balls that far in this ballpark, with that high wall. And so he hits balls like that, it looks like he's hitting golf balls.
A couple big innings for Lugo, big moments that he was able to get out of. 5th inning there after loading the bases. What did you see from him just being able to navigate that against the top of their lineup?
Yeah, a little extra velo on a couple of those pitches and then really executed below the zone. I think Jimenez, he got on a changeup and Ramirez on a curveball or sweeper, whatever it was, but to be able to make it look enough like a strike where those guys are going to go after it is, he's been doing that all year. So it's not surprising, but it was a huge spot in the game.
Alrighty, y'all, it's almost time to get on out of here, but first we have to go through your Spotify Q&A responses. So if this is your first time listening, go check us out on Spotify, interact with us with our polls and our questions and answers. And after y'all respond, we read your responses on air in the following episode. Simple as that. That's how it works. So last recap was on May 31st. So it feels like it's been a while, simply because of, the full-length episode coming out, the day off. That's just how math works. But following that game, K-Stater74 says, at least the starting pitching was good. The bullpen needs to do their job. Can't disagree with that. Fistifer says, it's outrageous, egregious, and preposterous. Well, Fistifer, I think... even though you commented that 4 days ago, I think I might have taken a page out of your book with what was it? Disheartening, frustrating, and disillusioning. I'll take it. And then Luke57 says, why do they get me excited in the 9th inning over and over? This bullpen is so frustrating. There's no consistency. This will be a short postseason run if we don't fix it. And Luke, I can't disagree with that sentiment either. I had a piece come out on Kings of Kaufman today talking about some of the early trade partners that the Royals could look to dance with. And those teams, I don't think they have realistic, seismic relief options available for trade, at least to the Royals. They have to be strategic and really, really look to bolster the middle of this bullpen so that maybe some of their more their dudes instead of just their guys, their dudes can go out there and have closing opportunities and let their stuff flash when it matters most. But I mean, you see guys have to come out early and often because they can't rely on more of the lower leverage bullpen arms. And they're going to have to do something soon to address it. They are. I do want to reiterate this. I don't think the bullpen cost the Royals the game tonight. I really don't. And if y'all want to fight with me about it, my email is in the podcast description below. You can hit me up on social media at Jacob Milham KC on X. You can respond in the Q&A. However you want to do it, there's multiple ways for you to reach out to us and make your voice be heard. I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here, go torture myself and watch some of these highlights back again. Once again, my name is Jacob Milham. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Make sure you check out the work that goes on at royalsreview.com. Also, you can follow them on X and Facebook. And lastly, you can follow the podcast at Royal Rundown Pod. That is RoyalRundownPod on X, and you can find us on TikTok as well. Thank you so much for joining me tonight, and until next time, go Royals!